Hi folks, welcome to this video on question number 1, and it'll actually help you for question number 2 in your simple and compound interest homework, okay? So in this question, we have an example talking about simple interest. So Megan takes a car to a title loan business to borrow some money. In fact, she is given $2,400. She must pay back the $2,400 and a 650 fee in 7 months. What simple interest rate is she being charged? And so in order to answer this question, we want to think about the following formula, okay? So we have our simple interest, and we're going to call that I, okay? And the formula that we're going to use is going to be I equals a P times an R times a T, okay? Now, if you're wondering what P and R and T are, don't worry, I'm gonna tell you what those are, okay? So the P is your initial amount, like how much did you take out in that loan, all right? And so when we look at this problem, we see that Megan she took out a loan of $2,400, so that is actually gonna be our initial amount. Okay. The R, that is actually what we're looking for, because in this question, we're trying to say, like, what was her interest rate that she was charged? So the thing that we want to find, right, what simple interest rate is she being charged? That's going to be the R in our equation. And last but not least, all right, so let me write that down though. This is our interest rate. And last but not least is our T, which stands for time, okay? Now, the thing though is the T is time, but measured in years. And if you'll notice in our problem, we're given 7 months, okay? And so we can write down that T is in years, all right? But that means that we need to think about like how many months are in a year. And if you look at a calendar, you can find out that there are 12 months in a year. And so we're going to use that 12 in our formula somewhere, okay? All right, so let me copy down this equation again. I equals PRT. Now, the interest, like the actual dollar amount, that's the 650, okay? So the extra 650 that she has to pay, that's like the interest. So it's not part of her initial loan. It's just like basically the amount she's paying in order to get the loan. Okay. And we said our P, or our initial amount, was 2,400. We don't know what R is. Now, to say T, even though this is only over 7 months, we don't want to write 7 here, but we actually want to write 7 over 12, okay? Because really we're saying like how many years is this happening? And it's not a full year, it's just 7 out of 12 months, okay? Now we have to go ahead and find our R value, okay? In other words, we're trying to find this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my calculator to take this and multiply them, okay? So I'm going to keep the 650 on this side, and then I'm going to use my calculator, and I'm going to type 2,400 times 7 divided by 12, okay? 2,400 times 7 divided by 12. And when I do that, these two pieces together, so this times this, gives me 1,400. Okay. So just color coding a little bit so you can see where the numbers came from. And we still have our R here. Okay. So we want to solve for R. We want to know like what's the percentage that they're charging her for the interest rate. And so the very last thing we need to do, we're going to divide both sides by 1,400. Okay, and that way these will cancel out and I'll get R all by itself. All right, so let me write that out in the pen. I'm going to divide by 1400, and I'm going to get, let's see, 650 divided by 1400 gives me 0.46428571143, and that's equal to my R, the thing that I wanted to find, okay? Now, if we look back at the question though, they tell us to round to the nearest 1/10 of a percent, okay? So right now we have our answer in decimal form. We actually have to turn that into a percent, and then we're gonna only go one place after the decimal place, all right? And then you have to remember to type in a percent sign in as part of your answer, okay? So let's go back down to our rate. This is our decimal, and let's think about how we turn decimals into percents. So we take that decimal, 0.46428571143, and we're actually going to multiply it by 100. That'll give us the percent. Okay. And after we find the percent, then we're going to go ahead and just take one number after the decimal point. All right, so times 100, and that will give me 46 point. Okay, I'm only going to take one number after here, but I'm going to write out 2 to show you how to round your number if you need to. Okay, so it says 46.42. Now, since 2 is less than 5, when we chop this number off, we keep this as a 4, okay? But if this were a, let's say, a 7, which is bigger than 5, we would round this 4 up to a 5, okay? So the answer we actually want to type in is 46.4%. All right? And so let me get that all on one screen for you so you can take a look at that. But let me know if this video was helpful. I'm happy to make more that are similar to this in flavor. But send me a message on Canvas and I'll talk to you soon.